actually hear from you. So I used to call it like the Ark of the Covenant. It just kind of went in the wilderness, and God blessed it. And I can tell you, those first few years, and those of you who started location, you are, we're going to have enough students to, open the doors this year, and who's going to do this and who's going to do that. Every year for the first few, it could have died. One year, Bishop Rudy Ressmeyer sent me $500, and it was just enough. Another year, my home pastor, Dean Luking from Grace River Forest, visited us at our home in Queens, and with their Kingdom Frontiers Fund, gave us $1,000, and that kept it open. So it wasn't God intervening, David. It was God working overtime all the time, right from within all of it. And I believe that that's happening today. So I think I've hit the, just a couple other things. Diakonia became useful then. Queens Lutheran School. We had a 5-parish school in Queens with 500 kids. We had early childhood in a couple of the parishes. A couple of the parishes had the grades, and then Long Island City had the junior high and so on. Many of the teachers weren't Lutheran anymore. And so we did Diakonia as a boot camp in the faith for Lutheran teachers and for their vocations. When I was in New Jersey, we had a Korean church across the street. Bishop Spong asked me, because we had Diakonia then, the Episcopal bishop asked me to catechize and train their Korean Episcopal deacons. And we did. We did a lot of work with the Episcopal Church in New York in the day. It was an original intent was to be an ecumenical. Our early teachers included a permanent diaconate from St. Matthias in Ozone Park, Queens, a permanent deacon from the Catholic Church. Our teachers have included Krista Klein, who taught history at a seminary. They've included deacons. They've included bishops. Finally, we have several places where Spanish language is active in Diakonia. I believe our church has to go all in on this, and we may almost be too late. When we put Diakonia into Spanish, and I mean that culturally and every other way, in New York, and I taught the first class in my office in Spanglish with a wonderful interpreter. The course on the 4 words, the first practical ministry course. We had 15 in that class. 13 had already started ministries. We were able to take that class, and most of the teachers were Latino, to the Philadelphia Seminary, because we had enough people, and kind of leverage our own boutique Lutheran year. 12 became ordained and are still pastors. So we need an economy of scale we're not getting at anywhere else. And so I'm hoping that in our strategic plan, that will be an important part of it. So in a minute, I'm going to suggest to you, tell myself, I think 3 or 4 ways in which I think Diakonia can serve the wider ministry of the church. But I want to take a breath and take a glass of water. And I want to hear from you, either about your experience or any questions you have about sort of that birth story. It was a missional, catechetical seminary of the street. That's where it started. And there's been a huge cadre still. The last graduation in New York, 70 people, 45 were people of color. So I mean, that is happening at a scale that you don't see anywhere else in Lutheranism. The ELCA, the most Caucasian denomination in the church, in the one body of Christ. So I see all kinds of hope. Anyway, thoughts, comments, pushback, anything?